at the bottom of your screen, there is a question and answer box. That's where you'll type in any questions you have throughout the webinar. Or if you need clarification on something, just type it in there. We're going to do our best to get to your questions during the webinar, but if we don't have time or we don't have a chance to answer it, we will get back to you via email. So don't worry about that. We can test it out right now while we're waiting for others to get logged in. Just type in your name and where you're joining from. We'd love to read those out while we're waiting. Let's see, we have okay, we're getting some here. We have Michelle from Cape May in New Jersey. We have Deidre from Evergreen Park, Illinois. Hello, thanks for joining us. Oh, we have Chad from Grapevine. I know Chad. Hi, Chad. Looks like we have a lot of people, and there's Aramine. Hi, Aramine from Plano. She's one of my buddies. I've worked with Aramine a long time. And Christy, we have Elaine, we have lots of people. Wow, we have people from everywhere. So thank you all for being here with us. Okay, I think it's about time, and we have a lot of people on already, so we'll get started. And once again, hello, and thank you for joining us today. We know many of you are very busy right now, either opening your libraries or providing curbside service to your patrons. And with everything going on right now with the COVID pandemic, we know that we all have a new normal and things are very different. Our workflows have changed, our duties have changed, and we just want you to know that we wish you the best of luck, and Bread Art's here for you if we can help you in any way. So my name is Karen Peck. I am the Library Services Consultant for the Southwest. I cover Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. I do have my MLS and was a school librarian and have been in the library industry for over 15 years now. And I'm fortunate to have worked for Bread Art the last 2. So that's been a wonderful experience, and I'm glad to be here with you. We also have Lori Gray with us, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Thanks, Karen. I'm Lori Gray. I'm the Director of Sales for Bread Art. I live in Arizona, and I've been with Bread Art for close to 30 years. So we're having fun doing these webinars, and I just want to thank everyone for participating. Courtney, you're co-hosting, so I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you, Lori, and hello, everyone. And thank you all for making the time to join us today. My name is Courtney Wolf, and I am one of 7 library services consultants here at Bread Art. I cover our Midwest territory, which includes Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia. I live just in the northwest corner of Ohio, just outside the Toledo area. I have been with Bread Art for just over a year. I joined the team last April in 2019. However, I've been in the industry for 14 years. This is my 14th year. I've worked with libraries all over the country in multiple different areas, including tech services, processing, cataloging, opening day collections, collection development. So I'm really, really happy to be here with Bread Art and talking with you all today. Timing, I don't think can be any better for such a webinar, and I know that sounds odd to say, but as Karen mentioned, we know you're all extremely busy as you navigate how to go about effectively reopening gradually to your community, providing services to your patrons, perhaps in new and interesting creative ways, while still keeping your staff safe. And I really want to thank you for making the time to be here today. I'm learning from quite a few of my partners that many are not, unfortunately, able to open right now at full capacity, be it with hours or staff. And because it is becoming more and more important to reach the community through curbside service and different outreach capacities, I know many of you perhaps might be returning to work in a completely different way in which you left. So I feel it's a very great time to make time to explore some of the options your partners have to provide you with services. Our technical services solutions are called, well, we're calling today's webinar Your Way, because we cater to the public libraries that we serve. And we want to take this opportunity to just kind of walk you through the different services that we offer that can help you prepare your materials, get it in the hands of your patrons in as quickly, efficiently, and cost effectively as possible during this time. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Wanted to first take you through our agenda. So firstly, some of you might just be exploring BroadArt for the first time, or some of you might work with us on a smaller capacity. So I want to introduce our company as a whole and give you a little bit of background about us first and foremost. And then Tech Services Solution, Your Library's Way. As I mentioned, our services are customized to the unique needs of each library that we serve. So I want to share with you our continuum of service and how we've developed the 3 levels you see there on your screen: Starter, Complete, and Flex. Why we have 3 levels. And then Karen will help share with you all what the Starter and Complete book services entail. And I'll wrap it up with Flex, which actually happens to sit right in the middle of those 3 services on our continuum. Throughout the presentation, we will break for questions. As Karen mentioned, some of those we may get to publicly here. Some we might answer in the Q&A. I do encourage you throughout, if you have questions or perhaps would like some clarification on anything covered, feel free to send that our way in that Q&A box. Karen and myself will both be monitoring that. We have Lori Gray here to help us with questions. Know that today's presentation is really just a high-level overview of our continuum of technical services solutions. So it's not meant to dive extremely deep into each of these areas, but we'll definitely want to take some time to go over next steps. Because if you find that perhaps some of these services might assist you with any conundrum you find yourself in, either now or going forward, we want to be sure that you have a clear avenue as to which way to go in taking next steps, so we can explore how these solutions might meet your needs. So firstly, why BroadArt? For those of you that aren't extremely familiar with BroadArt, know that we have been in the industry for 80 years. And I feel it's extremely important to note that we work exclusively with libraries. We do have a demonstrated ability to provide highly customized, flexible public library services. I do spend a lot of time focusing on the public aspect of the library services, but no, that does not mean that, you know, if you're an academic library, university, a school system, you can't do business with us. Actually, we do have quite a few universities and schools that look to us for materials and services. It's just that we specialize in providing solutions to the public service or the public libraries that we serve. We have the ability to really, just based upon all of the practice over the years, bring our customers on board with ease. It's a very seamless process. The multitude of folks that work at BroadArt at our headquarters in Williamsport and remotely are MLS librarians, as our friend Karen is today. And we've developed extremely clear, customized operational strategies to be able to meet our library's unique needs. As we go forward, despite all of the challenges that we see, we are continuing to focus on the public library market. And we'll take a look here at our continuum of services, just a quick introduction. However, first a snapshot. These are some of the major systems that work with BroadArt currently. Now, this slide is not meant to represent all of our partners. However, it does, I feel, convey some pretty large systems throughout the country that look to us not only for materials, but also that take advantage of the processing and cataloging solutions we're going to spend some time going over today. Many of these libraries also take advantage of our collection development services. Some have had us do opening day collection services for them as well, because those are also all areas that we specialize in. That said, before I go any further, we did just recently, last week, have a webinar on our collection development services. So if you have interest in that and missed it, please let us know. Happy to send a recording because it was really, really well done. Anyhow, if you have any friends from these libraries that you'd like to talk to about working with us, by all means, reach out. If you'd like references at any time, I always think it's good to have the opportunity to talk to your peer without the influence of a consultant or a rep from the company, just to see what it's really like to work with Brodart. I think you'll be happily surprised. So our service continuum. Brodart is the only vendor in this industry where books are concerned that actually has 3 individual and very unique levels of services. Those are our starter level, our flex, and our complete. And yes, it's spelled correctly, it's just funky. All of the material vendors in the industry have what we see to be a very simplistic, very basic profile-driven service level. We call ours starter level. That said, all of the material vendors in the industry also have a higher end, very robust, high-level, customized level, which we call complete. And it's in this order because we are unique in that we've got this middle service there, that middle ground, which we call flex. As I mentioned in our agenda, we're going to spend some time going over each individual level of service on the continuum. But the really great thing about this is we're extremely proud of our shelf-ready services that we provide for our libraries because we've focused so much emphasis on development over the past decade on how can we most effectively provide solutions that are going to meet the variety of different ways our libraries process and catalog, classify their materials. We know that catalogers can often be extremely passionate about their catalogs, and we want to ensure that if you look to us as a partner for your cataloging needs, we can provide the same level of cataloging that you anticipate, that you expect coming from your library. So without further ado, we're going to jump in our starter level. I'll flip the slide here and jump over to Karen. And Karen's going to walk us through the differences between our starter and complete level of services. So over to you, Karen.
Thank you, Courtney. As Courtney said, Brodart has a continuum of cataloging and processing services available to you. Each one is designed to meet your needs. To determine the level that best fits your library, we would need to review your library's cataloging and processing specifications and requirements. This way we can ensure that we do it your way. One of the things about Starter is it is our simplest cataloging and processing service. Starter provides full level cataloging records to meet a basic need for your library. With our starter level service, you do get linked barcodes and physical processing, which can be added to your orders so that you receive your materials shelf ready. Our starter level is a classic book in hand cataloging service, and we deliver full bibliographic records with item holding records, which meet the industry standard. This starter level of service is cost effective, and it's an efficient way to get materials on your shelf. So with Starter, you do receive several different things. You, first of all, receive that full level cataloging record. You do get the item and holding records mapped to your ILS requirements, and that can include a call number, a barcode number, the list price, and location code. You also have the option to use a customer supplied call number if you wish. And one of the nice features with Starter, and again, this is our basic level service, but we'll update your OCLC holdings for you. We deliver all cataloging records via batch, and those will come either through email or your FTP server, whichever you please and whichever you choose. And with this starter level service, your items are shelf ready and there's a quick turnaround time. So, and it's at a minimal cost. So with these difficult times with COVID, you may want to consider getting help with your CMP. Also with Starter, we do a lot of different processing, and you can choose as little or much as you want, but we provide Mylar jackets, spine labels, genre classification labels, barcode labels, title pocket labels, branch labels, or stamping. We also can include your RFID tag or whatever theft detection you might have. Those of you who do buy paperbacks, we offer reinforcement services as well. We have the Turtleback, which is the laminate, or we can even convert paperbacks to hardbacks. And like I said, you choose whatever level of service you want. You can just have processing done, or you can get that starter cataloging and processing done together. The best part about it is, and I used to love this whenever I was a librarian, because I did shelf ready, but I would just open up the box, scan it, and put it on the shelf. And that was a really great feeling. You didn't ever worry about getting boxes and then having to process everything. Also with this service, I think I covered everything in there. Before we go on to the next one, I do want to just check questions really quick. I don't know if we have any yet, but I do.
Looks like we're good.
Okay, good.
Quite a few introductions though.
I just wanted to make sure before I got too far ahead. So we'll continue with the next level of service. So starter was our basic level, and our next level that I'm going to talk about is our complete level, which is our highest level of service. This is the most customized. And a lot of libraries that we talk to, they're like, they say that we have such specific, detailed cataloging that no vendor could ever do what we need them to do. And believe it or not, BroadArt is an expert in this. And BroadArt has a very high standard, and we know how to ask the right questions so that we set up your cataloging and processing profiles where we can be an extension of your library staff, and we'll do it your way. With our complete service, we also call it CBS. You are talking with one of our MLS cataloging services librarians, and we discuss your practices at a very deep level, so we know exactly what you want. Complete is our most robust book and hand cataloging and customization service available. It provides each library with circulation-ready, customized MARC records and physical processing fully aligned to your library's local practices and specifications. We'll catalog based on your library's requirements. So we're not trying to tell you what to do, you're telling us what to do. And that's why it's called Your Way. So anyway, with Complete, you get a lot of different things. You do get a project manager, you get that cataloging services librarian working with you, and you also can get a collection development librarian to help you set up your collection development, which we talked about last week. This allows you to completely tailor our work, or we completely tailor your work to your needs. Also with this level of service, we want you to know that it's all manual. So we're doing book and hand cataloging for every one of your orders. And that way we can guarantee several things. So number one, you're getting that cataloging and processing done your way, which I keep saying, but it's so important because it's so customized. We also would make sure that you tell us which preferred source you would like for your MARC records. That could be OCLC, or you could use our wonderful BroadArt resource records that we have. You are also guaranteed a full level MARC record for every item your library receives. So that's 100% guarantee with this complete level of service. We also have some other things. Again, you would be able to modify any MARC record or call number if you needed to. We would update your OCLC holdings. And again, with this complete service, we would deliver your MARC records in a batch file via either email or FTP server. So what I like to say about our complete book service is that we are an extension of your staff. This is when you have a shortage, you can rely on Brodart and we'll do it your way. And we'll also ensure that your records adhere as closely as you want to your existing standards. So that's pretty much complete. We do like you to know with any of our services, you can use them for ongoing orders, but you can also just use us for projects or opening day collections as well. And Brodart is an expert in all of those fields. I'm going to pass it back to Courtney and let her tell you a little bit about the next level, which is the middle level called Flex.
Absolutely, thank you. Take a look just to make sure. Okay, we're good on questions. So moving to Flex. So firstly with Flex, I really want to emphasize the fact that this middle level is something that is unique to the industry. As I mentioned before, most all vendors have their version of that starter simplistic level and that higher level. And quite honestly, Flex came out of years of observing and talking with public libraries over time and just seeing that there was a large segment of the market that was going unserved with just those two levels. So what we were finding is quite a few libraries out there that were perhaps using the starter level or the equivalent or something similar, but still having to touch and edit each and every record. Or maybe they were getting a starter level service and we're getting just basic holidays, but we're still having to touch all of the other holidays, or just adding a little bit more information. Obviously, starter was not meeting their need in that particular circumstance. And then we found libraries that actually needed a higher level of customization, but were paying for more than they actually needed. And perhaps a complete level CBS type situation was more than they actually needed. So the libraries that required some sort of assistance in order to prep their material or catalog their material were not quite getting what they needed, either due to cost, service time, or the material just not arriving fully shelf ready to their specifications. So that's where Flex was born. It's actually the result of a need for higher level customization, more flexibilities to give you the ability to control classification, to request a higher degree of customization than that which Starter provides, but in a much quicker, faster service time than maybe some of your higher levels. Now, as Karen mentioned, our complete level is pretty quick. I mean, we are experts in the field, but with Flex, the nice thing is, if you don't need that higher level of cataloger, but you do need customization, we can still offer that full, complete book in hand cataloging, but we use technology as well to provide you that shelf-ready solution in a much faster rate than a traditional solution where you've got someone actually hand-touching each and every copy and record. So I will share with you how that works to kind of help explain exactly what I mean there. So with Flex, like with Starter and with CBS, we start with our Library of Congress for the source of our copy cataloging record. And then we actually review those Library of Congress records and upgrade them to our standard. Now, what that means is we want to ensure that we have consistency and that our records are meeting the industry standard, if you will, because we've noticed that with the wide array of publications that are coming out and the time that it takes to actually get everything cataloged, booked in hand, many of the resources through which our libraries are getting records are using automated systems and just providing perhaps what we would call a level K record that just has publisher information, sometimes lacking. So we want to ensure that when we start with a record, it is as robust as possible and it has any annotation we can get our hands on, and that we have consistent series and whatnot with children. So all of the subject headings that you might need are there. And then from there with Flex, we take your library's profile and look at, okay, well, how are you cataloging your books? And what of this, what we call our Brodart resource record, we take that Library of Congress record and just kind of beef it up and ensure it's consistent, ensure it's clean. And then we take your library's profile and basically we lay that atop of our Brodart resource records and say, what is extra that this particular library doesn't need? We write a program for your library, stripping out those subject headings and all of the information that you may not need in your catalog because we want it to be consistent with your standards. And then if there's some subject headings or there's some fields that you need tweaked, we update that as well. Now, again, all of those books coming in, that first copy is fully cataloged book in hand, which I believe is unique in the industry these days. Everyone's doing things automated now. But then with Flex, because we have that profile set up for you, the delivery, the actually customization and the delivery of your record happens in an automated fashion. That's what saves time. So that way we're able to provide you your fully shelf-ready material within usually about a 2 to 3 day service time window from the time it comes in our back door, through processing, through cataloging, and out the door to you. So that's pretty quick. Because really with our cataloging, as with yours, the key is we want to make sure it's clean, it's consistent, and the material is easy for your patrons to find. It's all about discovery at the end of the day. It's about making it easy for your patrons to find and making it consistent, because if they're using your catalog, chances are they know exactly what they need to look for to get the results that they seek. We want to provide you that. So like with Complete as well, with Flex, you are still guaranteed 100% of those titles that we send your way are fully cataloged. And also we can deliver those either via email or in batch FTP, where you can go and pull them down that way. So that's kind of high level sprinkling to differentiate how our services, particularly with Flex, are different from those in the industry, other vendors in the industry. And we like to really focus on consistency, service, and value. There's quite a few different places where you can get your books, and quite frankly, you can come to Brodart and just get books. But these are the areas that we specialize in. So if you need assistance in prepping your material, if you need assistance in patron discovery of your material, we truly can create a solution that meets your needs. Karen mentioned quite a few times our librarians at Brodart. We have collection development librarians, cataloging librarians, just like you. These folks are extremely passionate about what they do. I'll never forget, like I said, I just joined the team back last April, and my first visit to Williamsport, the bulk of the folks, not only the librarians, but our customer care team, have been there for decades. They truthfully have folks that have been working there as long as I've been alive. So that says something to me coming on board last year. Our dedicated customer care team is amazing. When you come on board with Brodart, not only do you have myself or Karen or another library services consultant, but you also have, depending upon your level of service, if you go up to the Complete or CBS level of service, you've got that cataloging librarian. If you take advantage of our collection development services, you've got a collection development librarian or even a team working with you. But also you have a dedicated customer care representative at Brodart. So let's say you just need to make a tweak to something, or perhaps you have a return, or you got too many copies of something. There's always someone that you can pick up the phone and call, and that person is consistent. I don't think any of them are going anywhere anytime soon. So that's always good to know, kind of peace of mind that you're not just going to get an automated system asking you a plethora of questions just to get a return taken care of. Our customer care team's great. And I've yet to find, not that I'm hunting for it, but I haven't yet found a customer complaint about our customer care team. They love these folks. We do, yes.
I hate to stop you because I know you have lots to say, but we do have a lot of great questions that we'd like to address.
Oh, great, okay.
I thought this might be a good time. So Gloria had a wonderful question, and I'm sorry we missed this, but Gloria asked if we do Library of Congress classification, or do we just do Dewey? And Gloria, this is a great question, and thank you for bringing it up because yes, we do Library of Congress classification. We do Dewey, but we also do BISAC, which a lot of people need for neighborhoods. So we can do just about everything that you need, and we can do it very customized. So that was one question that we had. We also had another question from Wendy, and Wendy is asking she's asking, are the BroadArt resource records available to search? And Wendy, I'm going to let Lori take this because I think she can answer it a little bit better than I can.
Sure, that's a great question, Wendy, and thank you for asking it. We do not make our BroadArt resource records linkable for Z39.50 use for libraries. They are our BroadArt resource records that we use as a source record when we're doing cataloging for our customers. Hopefully that answered it. If not, come on back to us.
Yeah. Thank you, Lori.
And she did ask, can we link them to our Z39.50? And yes, we can definitely do that. And people love our BroadArt resource records. They're very complete. When we do share them with customers who might use OCLC, the BroadArt resource record is as good as an OCLC. And I'm not going to say better, but it's very comparable and very good, very full and robust. So let's see if we have any other questions before we move on. Gloria also asked, are starter records 100% guaranteed? And they are not. They are only guaranteed 100% with the complete book service. I'm not quite sure if they're 100% guaranteed with Flex too. Yes, they are. With Starter, we do provide a MARC record with almost every single book, but we can't guarantee it 100%. So, okay, I think that's all the questions we currently have, so we can continue and then we'll stop again if we have other questions.
Sure. I did see, Lori, you pop on for a moment. Did you have anything more that you wanted to add?
There was a question about Spanish material, Courtney. I grab that now or later.
I've missed it. So if you see it, Lori.
The question was, do we handle Spanish material in our each one of these product lines? And I did an online answer very quickly of yes.
Great. Thank you.
One of the great things too about our Spanish language catalog records, and I know that we have a plan, we've been talking about doing a webinar specifically for the services that we provide for Spanish language because we have a ton for collection development as well as for cataloging. But we do have the ability to also add country codes of origin and in those records as well, which helps tremendously in terms of discovery. We can also allow your patrons the opportunity to search that material in both English as well as Spanish in those records. So that's definitely, if that's something of interest, let us know. We can certainly get you more information on that. Shall we move on? Is that everything in the queue?
I found one more question
Okay.
in the chat area, and it's a great question that I wanted to make sure we addressed. It's from Craig, and he asked, for our starter level service, I mentioned that customers can supply call numbers. What does that mean? So if you have a custom call number for a particular item, you can drop that in a note section for starter. But for Flex, we would use collection codes to drive those custom call numbers. So for starter, I believe it would have to be in the notes section. So Lori, if you would please confirm that for me.
I'm struggling with that one too, Karen. Can we come back to that and I'll do some research real quick and I'll respond online.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, we're ready to move on, Courtney.
All good questions. Thank you.
We are.
Moving on to next steps. So I'm sure right now your head is all swimming saying, okay, I have this particular scenario. Where do I fit in this continuum of service? I think the really great thing about our continuum of service is You know, it is basically a sliding scale. And what we like to do in order to determine where your library fits or falls on this continuum is take an evaluation of your current workflow. So the very first step in doing that is contacting your library services consultant. And we have been growing exponentially in the past 2 years, which is incredible to say, especially given everything that we've been experiencing this past year. So we have quite a few new faces, all of which have come from the industry. So many of us have come from library land, whether it be in a library or with another vendor. We've got quite a bit of experience on our team. But in a few moments, I'm going to take you to our website. So if you haven't yet met your library services consultant, I can show you how you can go about finding that individual. But what we would do then, and Karen and I are both consultants if you're curious, is we would talk about your library's workflow and understand not only what you're currently doing internally, but what is your goal going forward. I have seen quite a few libraries when they're starting to look at services such as this, they often will evaluate their workflow and look at their labels and look at their classification schema and sometimes do a complete overhaul and use this opportunity to say, why are we doing it this way? More often than not, it's because it's the way it's always been done. And we know that, you know, times are changing, the way that people are browsing is changing, the way people are interacting with the library is changing, and we might see that continue, especially in light of this new normal, as Karen calls it, and many people call it. So we want to take a look at not only what you're doing, but what your end goal is. And then from there, if you want to do exactly what you're doing now, we would ask you to provide us your specifications. Many libraries have that documented on file or perhaps with another vendor if you have another vendor doing these services now and you're just looking at comparing. If you don't, however, not a problem. It just helps us if you have it documented to take a look, because that way we can ensure that we're covering all the bases. As we know, there's so many different variables and collections and classification schemas. So we want to ensure we cover all the bases. But regardless, we're going to go forward with you and complete a full profile to ensure we have all those bases covered. We ask quite a few questions. As Karen said, we know what questions to ask. And so we ask quite a few, but we want to walk through this process with you so it doesn't seem overwhelming. We want to make it as easy as possible. Like I said, we have a very seamless onboarding process. So we have no problems going through that whole profile with you, or bits and pieces, depending on your need and comfort level. From there, we would work with customer care to get your account set up just the way that we need it to support you. And it may be more than one account. We may need to set up grids for you to support, you know, the processing and cataloging that you need. So we get all of that set up. And then from there, once we have the accounts in place, if you're new to BroadArt, or perhaps this workflow looks different because of the addition of grids or branch codes or what have you, we would work with your collection development staff and do a BIBS training. I don't have that here because it doesn't technically relate to technical services, but it does, because this is potentially going to impact your selectors too. We want to ensure everyone's comfortable. We just want it to be a good experience. So we will do BIBS training with you all, and BIBS again is our ordering tool. If I didn't say it before, I'm going to say it now. And if it's a repeat, I apologize, but I think I might have missed it. BIBS is completely free to you. That is our online ordering tool. It's our website. We do not charge our customers to do business with us. And it doesn't matter if you have branch selectors throughout your entire system. We're not going to charge for logins. We're not going to charge you to be able to use collection tools on our website. So that is free of charge. So we'll do training on that, and then we'll do a full test order. Your customer care coordinator will work with you to ensure that we know when that test order is received. We kind of hold its hand through the process internally to make sure everything looks good. And then we want your eyes on it as well, so we can have your approval. And then from that point forward, it's smooth sailing. The nice thing is, if you have changes at any time, or perhaps you have a new staff member in that wants to completely change the way they're cataloging or labeling their particular areas, we can make changes at any time. This is not all or nothing, and it's not a one and done. We will always be here as your partner to walk you through from this point forward. It's like a marriage. I hope you're not afraid of commitment. We love our customers. I am going to go ahead and hop over to our Brodart website so I can show you where you can find your representative next. And while I'm doing that, Karen, if you want to take a look and see if we have any other questions.
We do. So first of all, we did want to go back to the custom call number. Lori did answer it in the chat, but I want to make sure everybody knows that if you have a custom call number field, there is a place in BIBS where you can enter the custom call number that you might want for that particular item. They can also be sent to the EDI via EDI. Also, Donna has a question, and she's asking, do we recommend meeting with a library services consultant every 2 to 3 years to make sure we're still both on the same page with how things are going? And absolutely, yes. We love to meet with you and make sure that everything is still the same, that you're happy with our services. And so we absolutely want to meet with you often. And depending on what level of service, if you're a complete level service, your project manager will be reaching out to you more than a few times every year to make sure things are right. And if you ever need to change things, we'll do that as well. So great question, Donna.
And as soon as we're able to get out of our home offices and on the road again, traveling, we're a very active team, those of us that have joined Brodart within the last couple of years. So I'd say that we would like to visit most of our partners more than once every 2 or 3 years. So, you know, just depending, like Karen said, your level of service or your level of need. You know, if you're a large system that just has a various level of, you know, complexity, we're not going to be you know, here every 2 to 3 years. We want you to know our name. So probably more so than that for many of you. And here I have our website. So hopefully you should see our brodart.com website on your screen now. We have 3 different levels. So we are focusing today on our books and library services because obviously that's what our technical services solutions, that's the area that they fall into. That said, if you're not familiar, you don't know, we do also do contract furniture. So we have quite a few libraries that look to Brodart, potentially when they're doing bids for new branches as part of that opening day collection, or if they're redesigning an entire space, we do contract furniture. And then we have supplies as well. Now our supplies department, I have quite a few libraries that have both books and furniture accounts and they're ordering materials and taking advantage of our services, but they also have a supplies account. Highly recommend one, even if we're doing all of your processing and cataloging, because it's a good place to get something extra. You know, you might have a donation or something and need to do some processing internally, even if you've handled it all the way over to us. We're a great resource because we do that processing, so we have the materials. Also, one of the important things to mention on our supplies area, you might have gotten an email on this, I think it was early this week or perhaps towards the end of last week. Those of you that have worked from home during this know that sometimes the days run together. But there was an email that went out to our customers about the fact that we have been procuring materials to help our libraries gradually reopen. We have face shields available for our libraries that might look to use those. We have some of those plexiglass screens that can help separate your staff desks from the patrons if you need that. And there's some sanitation equipment there as well. So just something to take a look at. And if you're interested in any of that, or if there's a need for that at all, let us know. We can certainly get you set up with the supplies account. But the reason I went here was for the books and library services area. So I'll click on that here. Now, in order to, and firstly, you'll notice we've got information on everything here. And like Karen said, we're recording this session, so you'll get a link so you can revisit all of this as well. But here on our website, if you go to find a rep right here, this is where you'll be able to identify who your library services consultant is. So we just wait for the find a representative map, and it's just as simple as clicking on the map, and there we are. So I clicked on Missouri. We have Patrick Deering as our library services consultant for what we call the central region of the state, of the country. So his contact information is here. And we also have Kim Blazek as our Eastern Regional Sales Manager as well. So you can have contact information for both. So depending upon where you live, there's our beautiful Karen, very quick and easy. And like we said, these services that we provide, because they are done your way and catered to your library's specific needs, you know, we want you to reach out to us if you have any questions. No commitments, just let's have a conversation, talk through what your needs are, what your current conundrum is, what your current situation is. And like Karen said, it could be a project, but more often than not, the libraries that look to us to do projects say, you know what, that was pretty easy. So we really appreciate you making the time to join us today. I encourage you to reach out to us if you have any questions about this. If you'd like that collection development webinar link, if you're curious as to how that might save you time. I know with selectors even, they might not be at full capacity just yet, or maybe they just need what we call a collection builder type list. We don't charge for the collection builder list because we know sometimes you get behind, or maybe you're looking to build out a certain area that you find that all of a sudden there's a new interest in. We've got an ever-changing world right now, so we want to be able to be flexible to support your needs and as creative as possible. So Karen, I'll turn it over to you if we can answer any additional questions, or if you have anything that you want to add here.
Okay, I don't see any other questions, so if any of you do have questions, please continue to use the Q&A box, and we'll try to get to them before we end today, or we'll email you and make sure we answer those. But thank you again for joining us today. We hope that you learned more about how BroadArt can help with your shelf-ready materials. And also know that we are here for you, and we want to do it your way. So that's the most important thing. If you're interested in getting started with any of our cataloging and processing services, you can go to the Find a Rep page. But if you don't want to do any of that, you're welcome to email me at karen.peck@broadart.com, and I will connect you with your library services consultant. Also, look for the link for the recording, and please share it with any of those who might not have been able to join today and who might be interested. Also, you will be receiving a survey, and if you have time, we'd love for you to fill that out. But anyway, thank you again. On behalf of the whole BroadArt team, we just want to thank you for being with us today, and we hope that you have a wonderful afternoon.
Yes, thank you. Take care.